Hey guys, it's Mr. Miraie and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today I have for you guys a top 11 weak to OP main characters in manga, manhwa, and at the end of this video I reveal a secret 12th one that you guys would totally not expect would be on part of this list. This list is not any particular order and this list is based solely on my personal opinion, and be sure to tell me what you think about them after reading them. With all that said, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified videos just like this, and be sure to smack that like button as it seriously helps out both the channel and video beat the YouTube algorithm. With all that said, let's get straight into the list. At number 10, we have Dungeon Kurashi no Moto Yusha. After killing the demon lord, Blum Dilmon was pursued by the kingdom and forced to leave the country. While spending days trying to avoid assassins aiming at his neck, he suddenly came up with an idea. He could hide inside the dungeon that was once the demon lord's hideout. If it's there, he could be safe. Without hesitating, Blum went into the dungeon, but he met someone unexpected in the lower levels, one of his former companions with whom he fought side by side against the demon lord. Moreover, a maid called Irene, who once served demon lord, is also there. So since their interests happened to match, the three of them decided to cooperate together to rebuild the worn out dungeon, working earnestly in order to turn it into their own safe paradise. At number 9, we have Dungeon Reset. Once it starts up, the dungeon goes through a process called Reset the Next User. Why doesn't this reset process apply to me? I am the only one left from the endless reset of the dungeon. With simple skills and an overwhelming weapon, junk down, game starts inside the dungeon. Now at number 8, we have Master of Gu, a story of a villain, Fang Yuan, who was reborn 500 years into the past with the Chuki Beats he painstakingly refined. With his profound wisdom, battle, and life experiences, he seeks to overcome his foes with skill and wit. Ruthless and admirable, he has no need to hold back as he pursues his ultimate goals. In a world of cruelty where one cultivates using Gu, magical creatures of the world, Fang Yuan must rise up above all with his own power. This is the darkest manhwa on this list, and if you love cold-blooded MCs, this is like the manhwa for you. His ruthlessness when approaching matters and just not giving a fuck about morals and empathy is amazing to read, and it's so fun to read. He does not give a shit about being the happy-go MC he is. He literally doesn't care about whatever he wants to do, he does, and that's it. Now, number 7, we have Manen D rank no Shunen Bokusensha Yota Ikoai de Densetsu. Lucas has had a hard life. In his mid-30s, a mixture of failures has left him old and crippled, playing pack mule to a couple of young adventurers. Then one day, he pulls a magic sword from a stone that tells him he has been chosen to become a hero. Given a useful form, Lucas must use the power of a sword to vanquish evil and attain a massive harem. Before you ask, it's not an isekai because he's been in this world from day one. It is a wish fulfillment, though, so in the end, it's basically the same thing. Now at number 6, we have Release That Witch. A male engineer is transmigrated into another world and becomes a prince. This place bears a striking resemblance to the Middle Ages of Europe, but at the same time it seems kind of different. Witches truly exist in this world, and they even possess magic powers. Magic powers are productive forces. Save the witches, liberate the productive forces. Open map, fight demons, break conspiracies, climb up the science and technology tree, and open up the path of hardcore farming. Now it is one of the more interesting transmigration manhwas because rather than having an MC who's like strong or has some sort of cheat skill, the only thing he actually carries over is that he was an engineer in his past world. He uses his information as an engineer and uses the power of the witches, which is women who have magical powers, and then utilizes that in order to help improve his kingdom. In the story, there are 4 children of the king who are all fighting for the position of being king or empress, and he's the weakest one, the one who is expected not to win. So he's given the lowest and worst town in order to rebuild, and he ends up, obviously because he ends up transmigrating into the body of this person, he ends up saving a witch in the beginning of the manhwa who has these fire powers, and he utilizes these fire powers in making steel and a bunch of new weapons and stuff, and starts innovating and starts rebelling against the actions of the world through the form of the church, and obviously his siblings were also trying to kill him because they want the seat of king. Now up next, we have Battle Through the Heavens. In a land where no magic is present, a land where the strong makes the rules and the weak has to obey, a land filled with alluring treasures and beauty, yet is also filled with unforeseen danger. Zhao Yan, who has shown talents none has seen in decades. Suddenly, 3 years ago, he lost everything: his powers, his reputation, and his promise to his mother. What sorcery has caused him to lose all of his powers, and why has his fiancée suddenly shown up? And it is one of the most popular cultivation manhwas out right now, though unfortunately the creators seem quite slow in creating updates, which just kind of suck. But the story is pretty good. There are some weird time skips, but it doesn't exactly explain how the time skips happen. But apart from that, the story is generally good, and if you like cultivation manhwa, you will definitely like this manhwa. Now up next we have I Am the Sorcerer King. 10 years ago, the monster horde, formed from the rift, formed from space and time, started attacking the mankind. At the same time, people started to awaken the power and begin hunting the monster, fame and money. Lee Sung-hoon, in need of money because of his mother's sickness, takes a dangerous job to help hunt those monsters 4 times a month by acting as a bait for the hunters. But one day, he is heavily injured by a monster and remembers his past life as a sorcerer king. With his past memories, Sung-hoon's overpowered magic show begins. Now this story is quite similar to Solo Leveling with his power scheme, but except in this case he is a person who in his past life used to be an extremely powerful wizard king and uses that knowledge to his advantage in the current scenario. But it is similar in terms of there are dungeons and gates, but they end up going in them and raiding, and if we don't raid them and they break, the monsters come out from the gate. It's how they do in Solo Leveling. Now up next we have Marshall Peak. The journey to the Marshall Peak is a lonely, solitary, and a long one. In the face of adversity, you must survive and remain unyielding. Only then can you break through and continue on your journey to become the strongest. Sky Tower tests his disciples in the harshest way to prepare them for his journey. One day, the lowly sweeper Yang Kai managed to obtain a black book, sending him on the road to the peak of the Marshall's world. Now this manhwa is a cultivation manhwa just like Battle Through the Heavens, but in this one it has over 500 something chapters out right now, translated, not officially translated, but translated. And it is a kind of interesting story because it starts off with this weak character who is abused, and he suddenly finds this book that one day he gives him this secret technique of the bone body technique that makes him stronger. And the story progresses as he literally collects I think over 10 waifus and some other ones along the way just for side girls. And yeah, if you're worried about MCs not going in with the love interest, don't worry about it, because our boy Yang Kai here literally manages to sleep with quite a few women throughout his journey. Now number 4, we have the beginning after the end. King Gray has unrivaled strength, wealth, and prestige in a world governed by martial ability. However, solitude lingers closely behind those of great power. Beneath the glamorous exterior of a powerful king lurks the shell of a man, devoid of purpose and will. Reincarnated into a new world filled with magic and monsters, the king has a second chance to relive his life. Correcting the mistakes of his past life will not only be his only challenge, however, underneath the peace and prosperity of his new world is an undercurrent threatening to destroy everything he has worked for, questioning his role and reasoning for being born again. Now, it is a very new and up-and-coming manhwa with over 60 chapters out right now, and they just finished season 1 and season 2 has officially started, so this is the right time to start binge reading this manhwa if you haven't already. It is a really cool MC. The art is pretty different and unique. I really like it. It's nothing like you've seen before, which I think is pretty nice to see. And our MC is obviously very OP, which makes for some interesting battles. Now number 3, we have Star Martial God Technique. The MC Yi Jing-hee is a star martial arts practitioner, and the story revolves around his journey on becoming the greatest star martial arts practitioner and the highest god. He starts off as a weak cultivator, though he is blessed with good innate talent, which allows him to be picked up by the vice principal of the Star Martial Academy, where he builds his cultivation base and makes important contacts. After a face-off with a bully, he gains a special awakening, allowing him to learn the ways of Star Martial God. Through this, he is able to slowly gain insights and rare heavenly treasures, and meet important friends and waifus, who help him rebuild and gain back the glory to his hometown as he rebels against the emperor of his land to defend his family and save his friends from bad situations. Now number 2, we have Tales and Demons of God. Ni Li, one of the strongest demon spiriters in his past life, standing at the pinnacle of the martial world. However, he lost his life during the battle of the Sage Emperor and the 6th deity rank beast. But his soul was then reborn in a time back to when he was still 13. Although he is the weakest in his class with the lowest talent at only Red Soul Realm, with the aid of his vast knowledge which he accumulated in his previous life, he trained faster than anyone, trying to protect the city, which in the coming future was being assaulted by beasts and ended up being destroyed, as well as protecting his lover, friends, and family who died by the beast assault, and to try and destroy the sacred family whom abandoned their duty and betrayed the city in his past life. Now this and Star Master God are both created by the same creator and have the same art styles, which you can see replicating, but Tales of the Demon Gods is by far the more popular and I think has a better storyline because of the fact that there is a more intense story plots and arcs that are actually more interesting to get into, not just MC being OP. Like the MC actually tries helps out his friends and making them get stronger as well, because he knows that you can't do everything on your own and you obviously need your friends along the way who will be just as powerful as you in order to defeat the enemies. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, the secret 12th Manhwa with a very weak to OP MC is such a surprise, because at number 12 we have solo leveling. 10 years ago, after the gate that connected the real world with the monster world opened, some of the ordinary, everyday people received the power to hunt monsters within the gate. They are known as hunters. However, not all hunters are powerful. Our MC, Sung Jinwoo, is an E rank hunter. He is someone who has risked his life in the lowest of dungeons. He is the world weakest. Having no skills whatsoever to display, he barely earned the required money by fighting in low level dungeons, at least he found a hidden dungeon with the hardest difficulty within the D rank dungeons. In the end, as he was accepting death, he suddenly received a strange power, a quest log that only he could see, a secret leveling up that only he knew about. If he trained in accordance with his quests and hunted monsters, his level could rise, changing him from the weakest hunter to the strongest S rank hunter. Now obviously I know no one's ever heard of solo leveling and could possibly imagine the fact that it has a story with an MC who goes from weak to OP. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. If you did somehow stick around to end this video, thank you very much for watching. And this video, you sure did boost my watch time. And if we did, be sure to comment, I don't know, hashtag banana or something. Thank you so much for watching this video. The previous video I did about this part 1 had over 500 views and the feedback was amazing on it, so I decided to make a part 2 of this video. And if you want to see part 1, if you haven't seen part 1, be sure to watch that. It'll be linked in the description down below and also in the beginning of the video and at the end card. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support on the Manhwa videos. Be sure to smack the like button if you did enjoy this video and subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified videos just like this. I've been Mr. Miraie and I will see you guys in the next video.